Oh, you could try to play for just constant mid lane aggression, trying to get Fizz going, and then Fizz, in turn, can just roam to the bot lane and constantly be a nuisance for the Ashe and the Seraphine. He can dodge a lot with just one spell. So the flex is confirmed. Silas going mid lane and the Swain going top lane. Not that surprising. February 14th did choose to play Swain versus Phoenix's Shen, and we're going to see a repeat of that matchup. Zac versus Jarvan. Both champions like to gank a lot, but it's Jarvan who can get that ganking presence going faster than Zac, arguably. Zac would probably prefer to get more than 3 camps in his first clear. In fact, he can even full clear. It is a bit risky, but if you know what the clear is like, you can definitely perform it. It is more than doable. Fizz versus Silas. Now, this is probably the matchup that we will want to see the most. Both mid laners here going head to head, not afraid to butt heads. We're going to see a lot of aggressive trading and maybe even some all-ins before level 6. Silas should have the upper hand in the early game, but obviously with Fizz hitting level 6, it can be turned around. Then the focal point of the team composition is still probably just the Vayne. Yuna Dabula on the Vayne. We've seen this one before. We've seen just how much he can accomplish on this pick. And this time he has the Lulu to help him out. And this feels like it is favorable for Believix because Ashe and Seraphine, Kargly and Weebly here, I don't think they will be that threatening in the laning phase, although maybe I'll have to eat my words. We'll see how the game progresses. Just off of this draft, it's Believix definitely going back to their roots a little bit. With also the added flavor of having a jungler that can affect these lanes before level 6 and really cause some damage. So 15 seconds left to go. And Believix just off of this draft feel like the favorites to me, but we'll see how his lane, we'll see how his game goes for sure. Absolute units will fight hard to make sure that they keep their hopes alive for the playoffs. Now we're taking a look at runes. Nothing out of the ordinary. Stock standard pretty much for all champions that we see right now on the screen. Perhaps you could argue A more defensive choice for the Lulu, the Guardian instead of the Summon Airy, but if you want to be aggressive, if you want to keep things going, Airy is also an option. And now I'm wondering if we're going to see some early game moves from absolute units, but no, it's actually Believix who look like they want to invade.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
I feel like their tools to catch people off are limited. They only really have the Shadow Dash for that guaranteed CC.
30 seconds.
I guess Lulu could take Polymorph as well. They're going to try and catch February 14th out here, but he does flash preemptively. Very nicely done. Avoids that CC. And now Believix are up by one summoner.
Minions have spawned.
Now we'll have to see if Jaina Proudmoore actually focuses on that top lane, making sure that February 14th doesn't pull that same thing he pulled the first time around. Or rather, the thing he pulled versus Benny Vici was actually... he played Swain against that team. But yeah, with a player like Feb in the top side, you want to make sure that he's doesn't get too far ahead. Or else it could always be troublesome. Probably want to be looking at mid lane more than anything, but as I say that, Duke of Jamming going for an aggressive trade onto Swain. Electrocute proc by Fizz. Regirox does have the advantage of running Corrupting Potion. So in these extended trades, he's going to pull ahead of his opponent. Nice snare lands onto Duke of Jamming, but here comes Jaina Proudmoore for his first gank of the game. Like I said, they're focusing onto the Swain nice and early to prevent him from causing a lot of damage, but that EQ does not quite land. Of course, it will probably be a kill regardless, but oh my goodness, he actually gets one back. So a mechanical misplay by Jaina Proudmoore results in a trade of kills. Not quite what they were hoping for, and now Chotsuyu in the mid lane forces out a flash from Regirox. Look at what's happening in the bot lane, however. Big trade. That is a big win for Believix. Oh, Weebly in trouble. We'll probably have to flash away here, but the flash comes in too late. Weebly, I don't think he realized what kind of trouble he was in, and is a very early kill for Yuna Debola. Is Yuna back? That's the answer. Rather, that's the question we're hoping to see answered here. Jury's still out on this one, but it's looking promising right now. Chotsuyu trying to get something going right now, but Jaina Proudmoore was on high alert. Duke of Jamming will have a hard time versus this Shen, but if UNL has taught us anything about the Shen, it's not about the laning phase. It's all about the global presence. And that's what absolute units will have to be very wary of this game. Because we've seen plenty of skirmishes be ruined by Stand United. You have to call it out, you have to be conscious of it every time you engage into a fight. A lot calmer right now in the bot lane, but the wave state is looking very, very good for Believix right now. Ashe and Seraphine already being zoned out. Now we're going to try and push this one in. But look at Jaina Proudmoore where he is on the map. Bot lane could be his next target if the wave is set up in the right position. He's coming in. He's going to get spotted by a ward though, and that does signal Kargali and Weebly to back off. The wave is also fixed for the most part. Well, maybe now it will go back to being unfixed. Okay, not quite. It's still fine. Yuna the Bull going for some more aggressive trading. That first kill onto Weebly is a huge, huge help. Duke of Jamming actually with a gank. Not using his Stand United, just coming in through the lane with the Shadow Dash, trying to impact the lane that way. But it has to be said, but Jujirox is doing very well in this mid lane matchup. Still has his ultimate that he can use. But right now it's probably not the best time to go in. Yuna very brave on this invade. He knows he has Lu to back him up. Will it be Believix with a return to this invade, or is it just Jaina Proudmoore trying to cover for his bot lane right now? You have a really aggressive, dodging the spells, trading auto for auto, not backing off. He's gonna regen some of that HP as well. We also have a big fight in the top lane, Duke of Jamming versus February 14th. The wave is on the side of Duke of Jamming, but it doesn't really mean much for February 14th, who's just using that to regen more. He still has yet to use his Demon Flare. Now he's going to use it. He's going to force a flash out of Shen, but no kills. Now chum the waters for Jujirox. EQ from Jaina Proudmoore. They're both trapped inside of a Cataclysm, and now it's going to be a turnaround from absolute units. I don't quite understand. I guess. Oh, I just confused myself. It was the Silas Cataclysm, I suppose, that trapped them, and they just couldn't make it out. So it was a good play from Blazicus to turn things around, and the kills do go to the Zac, but the Fed Zac is also a champion that is very annoying to deal with. But consolation for Believix is that they have one of the better champions to deal against tanky opposition. You just have to make sure that the vein keeps on rolling, keeps on scaling. Another trade from Duke of Jamming. Gets the empowered out auto attacks off. Very nicely done. Duke of Jamming is actually fighting back, but now he's going to get surprised by the absolute Venus jungler. And this could just be a kill. No flash for the Shen. The root lands. Jaina Proudmoore is here though, but it's going to be too late. He just EQs away from here. It is Chotsu actually doing bits on the Zac right now. Still, the bot lane does not look good as it stands. And will probably just look even worse as we see an ambush from UNL. Keeps on auto-attacking. No ultimate use from either side on absolute units. But now Jaina Proudmoore is the one that could lose his life over his Rift Herald. Not gonna fall quite. Believix continuing to fight for his Rift Herald. Jaina Proudmoore presses Smite just as the Rift Herald resets, and now Judgy Rocks finds himself in a bit of a compromised position. Duke of Jamming now returns to the scene as Believix turn onto February 14th. He pops his Ghost. Nice Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto Techno Gremlin, but it won't be a kill. Now UNL is here. Can they get at least one kill in this fight? The focus is still on Blaziken. They're going to get him. And all things considered, Believix, they commit to the fight on Rift Herald and they reap the rewards as well. Wasn't perhaps the cleanest fight, but they make it work. But now, Weebly venturing perhaps a little bit too deep there, but gets away with his life. Oh, is this Herald's gonna run out? Oh yeah, they get it just in time. Absolute Unit's in quite a bit of trouble. They haven't fed Zac. They have a Swain who could still scale a little bit. Still has some time to get items, get some damage, be a frontline for his team. But I feel like the question remains, who exactly is supposed to deal with this Vayne and dispatch her quickly? Because the Vayne has more than enough abilities to try and evade the front line of the absolute units. It also has the cleanse. So if the engage comes from either Ashe or Seraphine, there's an easy press of a button that can just negate all of that. I feel like right now, UNL is in a very good spot to try and carry this game. And I feel like it's going to take a mistake from Believix rather than a proactive move by absolute units. Start the turnaround. Judgy Rocks, now that he has all the priority in the world, he's going to start hunting for kills. And he might just get one right here. Ashe and Seraphine both in a very bad spot. Jump of Waters actually whiffs. Does Fizz have enough damage to try and get a kill? I feel like he's still going to get it. And there's the rest of the team. Jaina Proudmoore, Cataclysm, catches two. UNL is just going to get these kills. No, he won't. It actually goes to the Jarvan, but it is still a very good fight for Believix. They also get some jungle camps on top of that. Judgy Rocks is getting a little bit too hot to handle now for absolute units. It's getting very dangerous. I feel like the window to get back into this game is quickly slipping. And every fight they take has not gone well for them. Jotsuyu going for yet another elastic slingshot, but the Fizz is way too slippery in both the literal and figurative sense of that word. Right now, the absolute units bot lane especially, they have to be extra careful. Unadabula still has cleanse. I feel like if he sees an opening, he will not hesitate and just go for it. Oh, perhaps there was an option there. Look at what Judgy Rocks is doing. He's actually going to cover for his bot lane. Techno Gremlin clearing out the vision. Now we're going to get attacked, but it's Techno Gremlin first who's actually going to take the brunt of it. But here comes the Stand United from Lucian, just what I was talking about. Any fight that you decide to take can get turned around in an instant. Anytime you decide to focus bot lane, this is the potential turnaround that you have to deal with. But now, Believix still pushing. Techno Gremlin way ahead of it. Wow, that is just Believix bot lane greeting for plates. Well, they can't greet for plates because there are no plates to speak of. They just lose their lives for free. The unfortunate message for absolute units there is that Jotsuyu is once again the recipient of all these kills. February 14th, in a 1v2 situation, can he get any kill in this unfortunate spot that he's in? Demon Flare is going to get cast, but there's not enough damage, even with Leandri's Torment. Duke of Jamming burns, but he stays alive by the skin of his teeth. This is a welcome change of pace from Jaina Proudmoore, actually taking advantage of his Jarvan pick. Doing a lot of work in these lanes to make sure that they come into the mid game nice and healthy. And this is a very different look that we're getting from Believix. As we're about to conclude the regular season, Believix maybe on the upswing going into playoffs. But now they still have to do some work to finish this game off. Absolute units show up first at the Dragon Pit. And they're going to be looking for those engages. Techno Gremlin has to be very careful. Oh, right as I say that, he gets engaged on. And that's going to be the first target from absolute units. They focus him down fast and hard. They get that kill. And now, will Believix still go for the fight? Looks like the answer is no. They will just focus on the towers. They have no Herald to summon. They could still focus the mid lane turret and threaten that one. It's not going to go down, however. Digirox has to keep running here. As Jaina Proudmoore's still on the Herald. He's going to get caught up in all that CC, but wow, the Playful Trickster comes out just in time. But wait a minute. Well, that's another flip and away. Out of danger. He has enough CDR in his kit. So he can just get out of just about any sticky situation. Now it looks like both junglers are going to meet. Jaina Proudmoore in a bit of a pickle right now. He's going to get Cataclysmed. Has to flash though. Jump the Waters will whiff. Not a lot that absolute units are fighting for right now. Regardless, Blaziken is going to go in. Looking for anything to get back at Believix what happened earlier. Nice flash from Techno Gremlin. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow will whiff. But now, the counter engage from absolute units is pretty good. Jaina Proudmoore actually staying alive for a surprising amount of time. And here comes Unadabula, absolutely untouched by the enemy team. Now we're trying to focus him down, but it's way too late. Double kill on the end of that fight. And he's going to get the triple. No, he won't, as actually Fizz that gets the shutdown. But regardless, it's Fizz and the Vayne who are both fed. A lot more fed than absolute units can handle, realistically. It's a 5,000 gold lead. As they continue to push into the base of absolute units. Believix. Looks like this is where they put their foot down and decide that they want to end February 14th's win streak in UNL and also put an end to Absolute Unit's playoff hopes in general.
I'll give it back, promise.
They have pretty much everything going well for them right now. Now Believix is in a lot of trouble. Gets caught up in all that CC. It's an easy pick. And now February 14 pops his Zanyas. Still stays alive, but not for long, I think. Unadabola caught up in all the CC, but look at the Immortal Shield, though, and the protection it provides. And now the counter engage from Believix is devastating. It's a clean ace from Believix. Absolutely no one dies in that encounter. Unadabola's Vein and Judgy Rocks' Fizz is what will grant Believix the ticket to playoffs, most likely. This is looking like a done deal right here. Believix, they won't be able to end the game much as they would want to. But still, this is a commanding lead that they have. All they have to do is not get caught right now as the counter engage is approaching. Techno Gremlin could be falling here. Okay, but Chum the Waters is going to dissuade them from going further into this one. It is a successful escape as Believix tried to recall for the Dragon timer that comes up in 50 seconds. Oh my goodness, the damage from Unadabola. Lethal Tempo procced. February 14th, you don't have enough health bar to deal with that. Probably needed like 3 more health bars just to get away. Duke of Jamming is going to cut down Weebly in their own jungle. Stand United goes on to Unadabola. He's diving the Nexus turrets. Finally he falls down. But that's Absolute Units once again all dead. Cargill comes up in 1 second. Can he defend the base on his own? More importantly, will Believix keep going? Looks like they are just going to leave once again. But this is the base of Absolute Units in complete disarray. They are outscaled. They are out of solutions to try and bring this one back. You look at the gap in gold between the 280 carries, it is just absolutely... It's not comebackable. To put it in modern terms, comebackable or not comebackable? The answer is not comebackable. Because you just look at this gold table right here, and you can see that Vayne is over 4,000 gold ahead of her lane opponent. Then everything becomes clear, especially when you consider who Vayne is facing. There's simply not enough threat to lock this one down. It's going to be just Believix walking this straight down to the Nexus as they catch Weebly unawares, but they're not done here. Blazikus might be the next one to fall. He steals Cataclysm. He's going to go in, but Absolute Units, they don't feel good about this fight as we see Unadabola basically charging in without any sense of dread. He's just going to keep going, rack up these kills on the scoreboard for himself. February 14th, the last one standing. The best sub of them all, the best emergency sub of them all, trying to save Absolute Units, trying to bring him back to playoffs. But the miracle stops here. Believix punch their ticket to playoffs.